Alright, hey guys, I'm Megan with another YouTube video, and because of that magical box right there that has all my technic pieces organized in it, I did get back into doing kind of like technic, I guess the better way to put it is contraptions. Most of the technic that I actually do own came from a old high school around in this area by the name of Oak Ridge. It's kind of in the area that I live now. I've moved and I travel every morning at least 15 or 20 minutes out to my new school because the schools around here are full of black people, and it just doesn't kind of work when you're white. Chances are you get jumped in like the first day. So obviously I go to a more diverse school with white people. But anyhow, they had a kind of like an architecture slash science program that used a lot of the old Lego Docta sets, DOCTA. You can still find them on eBay or Bricklink to pick them up. And they had a lot of really neat contraptions, I'm not going to lie. Like, I still have a shit ton of the note cards and everything that came with them because I got a lot of these sets, guys. You know, when I first got them, I looked over the note cards and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. You can make a door that moves. Like a shopping door, like the Walmart doors, basically. I'm trying to use a universal store, unlike the Publix, because Publix is just a brand down here in Florida. But like when you walk through the doors at Walmart, the doors slide open automatically. You can make that out of Legos. You can make a printer out of Legos. You can do all these temperature things, all these opening door things that kind of like open upwards. For like they used a plant, like you see those clones encased in that glass case. They had like the middle piece. There's the side piece that's curved, side piece that's curved. They had the middle piece that would like open up upwards. You could do all sorts of things with these sets, but I kind of found the more unique version or thing to do is to build a air compressor. So that's basically what I have here. I think the only issue that I have with it is that it doesn't really do anything cool because it's not like an air compressor that can shoot finish nails or brad nails or anything of that matter. I do a lot of carpentry with my father, so we use finish nailers and brad nailers and framing nailers all the time. And yeah, I've getting kind of used to listening to an air compressor go off and whatnot and all that. And I know how most air compressors work, so I decided, well, why not build one out of Legos and just make something go up and down. So, like, basically, I'm just going to show you what it does. It just makes this thing go up and down. I do have air in the system right now, and I did that so I can show you guys this little feature. There is a pressure release valve right here. Switching it upwards means that the tube on the other side of this one that you see there is sent through the system into the storage tanks. These storage tanks are all linked together, and then they come out here, and then I'll talk about that later. But this middle hose is coming in. This top one, since it's not being used, is out. The one down here is also going out, but that one's going into a closed system, which leaves this top one open for a pressure release valve. So I'm going to be very quiet and I'm going to let you guys listen to this. Hopefully it picks up on camera. So I've let all the air out of the system, and now there's no air in these storage tanks, there's no air in the airlines or anything like that. So I'm going to go basically how it works. So you have a 9-volt motor here with a small gear and then a larger gear. The reason I used a small gear to a larger gear is because this, without any friction, runs at 3,300 revolutions per minute. Break that down, that's about 55 revolutions per second. If you take a small gear to a larger gear, you slow that speed down a little bit. So it's just to kind of prevent wear and tear on this piece that runs throughout here. And this is basically a crankshaft. It works just like a car piston, basically. But when you spin this gear, these pieces move, and based on how the pieces move, the basically the two air pumps, the one on either side. The middle one does not work. That's a flaw in my design. Not like Legos or anything. But it makes the piston open up, and then as it gets pushed back down over here, it compresses air through the system. Basically, out these two hoses underneath this base plate to kind of keep them in place. They both join at this area right here, this junction, come back around kind of underneath all these air tanks, and they come up in the middle here into my first valve. So if my valve is pointed up like it is now, it's running back in through to these air tanks. These air tanks are going to store it, and then this valve is to control this. This is running off of a battery box. I do have the computer module used for the printers and things of that model, but this is just easier for this demonstration. I also have two lights up on top of the battery box, so I know when it is on, because as this is running, you're going to see what happens where you might get confused with whether or not it's on or off. So I'm going to run it. By the way, it does work in forward or reverse. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just like switching it back and forth. But I'm going to push this button down and let it run, and then kind of, you know. So as you can see, it stopped running. So I might not know if it's on or off. Obviously it's going to, you know, keep doing that. But that's putting a lot of pressure on the motor. But these lights are on, so I know for a fact that the battery box is still on. So these lights are just kind of like for a safety precaution that, by the way, hey, your motor is running and that's probably really bad. But you just notice a really interesting feature is that when this reaches the maximum air capacity in the system, it puts too much force on this motor to turn, so it just kind of slowly starts to slow down until it just stops, and it just can't go anymore. You'll see it like turn, and then turn again, and then backwards, but you know, that doesn't really matter. But it stops, which means you're not going to have these hoses suddenly bust and your air system, and then you have to go through and repair it. So that's something I really do like. Other than that, you can't get much play out of it. Like I said, the only like real use is making this thing go up and down, and you can only do it a few number of times before you just run out of air, and you got to run the system all over again, which is fine. I usually put it down when it starts getting slow, and then just dump the valve, because yeah, and then run it again. So yeah, that's pretty much just how it works, and then I'll dump it. So yeah, that's a pretty basic Lego air compressor. It doesn't really do anything special. It's more just kind of one of those fun things to do. I'll probably destroy it soon. I was thinking about using these lights for something kind of really neat with something else in the room, kind of over there that way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, so I'll see you guys later in another video. As always, there will be a link in the description below to my website. Keep burping in my mouth. Thanks for watching. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.